Okay. Nice to be here. Thank you. Thank you for the introduction. And grateful to be here. And I want to also do a shout out to Ken, who has encouraged me to channel. I've done it intermittently over the years. I used to do it more regularly. But it feels like this is a good time and place to be present and to see what comes forth. So I have channeled Baba and Sananda. I feel like Sananda is probably more appropriate to come through here. Sananda is what I would call the oversoul of Jesus. And when Sananda channels, the presence of Jesus does come through. And I also want to say this is kind of through my lens. I don't avow that I am the spokesperson. It's really coming through my filter and my consciousness. So I just want to have a disclaimer that I am not the mouthpiece, so to speak, but it's my human qualities from which I bring forth my higher self, which comes through. And I want to give a moment here and give some time and space to center. And I'm just going to get myself comfortable here. Okay. And I say welcome to all my friends, brothers, and sisters here. I greet you with the Hebrew greeting of Shalom Aleichem, which is, may peace be unto you. And this is an ancient greeting from times going back to early biblical times. And the response it's a call and response. And the response to Shalom Aleichem is Aleichem Shalom. So I say Shalom Aleichem.
Aleichem Shalom.
And it is peace be unto you. And the words and the message peace be unto you is used quite frequently. It is a well-known phrase. And it comes from Hebrew, which is the native tongue of who was known as Yeshua ben Yosef, which was the Hebrew for Jesus, son of Joseph, and Miriam. And so in my message here to all of you is about the embodiment of spirit and inviting you to remember that each of you is an embodiment of the divine, of God. And as the consciousness of what is known as the Christ consciousness walked the earth 2,000 and so years prior to this time, the message is one of remembering that God is within. And that when we remind ourselves that God is within, we do not go without. It is a simple message. And it is one that has to sometimes be relearned and remembered and renewed, as Michael has shared with us in the beginning of this talk, his talk about renewal. As we're entering into a new year, a new era, a new opportunity, a new consciousness, to remember and to renew ourselves. There is a lot written about this resurrection, but resurrection is a daily practice. It is not something that we wait to die and be reborn. It is a daily practice of each moment, of each breath one takes. As one breathes in, the breath of life, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech ha'olam, which brings in that which is the breath of life, from Adonai, which means breath of life. God, as we know it. Breathe in that remembering who we are, the I am. All of that has been spoken here today in different ways by each spokesperson, because each spokesperson here is a spark, divine spark, of the breath of life. Which means that the simple message of remembering that when one breathes in, one is breathing in the I am. So I invite you to breathe in the I am presence. And allow that to enter fully into one's being. Another breath I invite you to take. And let it go down deeper. Like a marble, brightly colored marble, dropping down into the ocean. Each breath you take, invite you to bring into your consciousness the awareness of that brightly lit marble, going down each chakra, one at a time, from the crown chakra, into the throat chakra, into the heart chakra, all the way down into solar plexus and the root chakra. As we bring in this light, that is the divine breath of life, as it descends, it also releases all that which needs to be released, all that which calls upon to be acknowledged and to be seen and to be known. All the way down into one's feet, into the earth. But as we breathe in this divine breath of life, there are parts of self that will deny and question and wonder. These parts of self are the parts that we can say carry doubt, carry fear, and have been in our DNA, sometimes in our body cellular memory from trauma, from the human experience that may be from this life or past lives that are embedded in us. And these traumas bring forth the drama, bring forth life experience. And sometimes it is a internal play, an internal divine play, so to speak, that one experiences of the human experience that so aptly was displayed in the biblical stories and the times of the human experience of that being known as Yeshua ben Yosef, or Jesus, and has embodied the human drama that we know of persecution and loss and grief and sadness to one of resurrection and elevation and recognition of all is good, all is well, despite the human experience. And yet the human experience is the gateway to one's deeper self. The human experience is the lesson. It is the messenger, it is the teacher. And if we pay close attention, one pays close attention to one's human experience, one can learn. Sometimes the lessons can be learned and taught through, or we can say through the lessons of others, through the lessons of our elders, through the teachings of those who have gone before us and have mapped the way, so to speak, which are part of the biblical stories. Some of the messages, some of the teachings that have been before us, and we can learn from them, and we can be inspired by those stories, and we could learn in a way that we embody those teachings in our daily life through some kind of practice, whether it's a spiritual practice of some sort that one ascribes to. We hear about these New Year resolutions where one takes a resolve and says to oneself or to the world, I will not do that again. Or I will do something different. I have learned as I reflect back on this past year of my life, my journey, what has been taught to me. And so I invite you to take a moment now to reflect on that. What has been taught to you? What has been your teaching? How has it shown up in your life in this year of 2021? What has been the resounding message? If you could consolidate and tune in to what has been the most resounding message or lesson or teaching that has come through your human experience, what would that be? So I invite you to hold on to that and let that hold within you. Hold that within you dearly, as if though it is a crystallized being, a crystallized element, so to speak. Take that into your consciousness. And I invite you to put your hands on your heart. And breathe in that message, that teaching into your body so that you can embody it. So that it's not just a word or thought in your head, but that it becomes part of your being, your consciousness. And I invite you to breathe it in. And as you breathe it in, think about a color. What color would that be? That lesson, that message. And breathe that into your heart chakra, into your heart energy field. And let your breath attune with that message as if though it is a vibration. As if though it is a song that you sing in your heart. Like the songbird sings a song, like the morning dove. And let that vibration, that message, that teaching melt away all fears and doubts, all parts of self that question, that carry grief, shame, a sense of not belonging. That is one human experience that has a resounding effect on one's sense of self-worth, self-doubt. And allow that sense of your own inner song of love, self-acceptance, connection to the divine, Father, Mother, God, Elohim, Adonai, Holy One of blessing. Bless you with this resonance of self-love, self-awareness, that the heart can weep with gladness and joy of the embrace of the Holy One of blessing. And through me will come a blessing that I will bestow upon you, my friends, So I invite you to take this blessing in to your being. Of your I am presence. For I am merely a conduit, a messenger, to support the God within each one. There is no separation here. There's only one being, one God, that comes through each one of your divine expressions. Holy One of blessing, bring forth the light in this, as we are in these times of darkness, in this time of winter, where the sun shines fewer hours than the night. And the darkness sometimes carries seeds of doubt, elements of fear. I call forth the light to illuminate each being here. And I invite you to visualize at the top of your crown chakra is a light. And it may not be as fully lit as sometimes as you may be going through challenges. But at this moment now, I invite you to allow that light to be fully lit up and breathe in into your heart, up through your throat, up to your heart to your head chakra, your crown chakra. Breathe this light in. And I invite you to give it a sound. There is a sound that can come through your mouth that emanates this vibration coming through you now. Let that sound speak through you. So I invite you to give it a sound as it goes through your throat chakra. And allow that to resonate, the resonance of that sound. To sit in you, into throne your throne. For the Holy One of blessing resides within you. We say when the blessing Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam, melech ha'olam, which is the king or queen of the universe, ha'olam, of the world. Melech, call in melech, that which is of the kingliness or godliness. Melech ha'olam, within your beingness. Adonai, melech ha'olam. Breathe that in to your beingness, your godliness. And there will be parts of self that times will come forth and deny this consciousness. Deny. Why would a part deny? Why would a part of self deny this powerful being consciousness within you? Breathe that in. Breathe that question in. Why would a part deny? But I invite you to hold that part. Aspects of self that have shown up in the biblical stories. Sometimes it's shown up as the disciples who have denied and questioned the validity of Yeshua's message. These parts are all within self. This is a drama. That every aspect of these parts that are known as the biblical stories, the disciples, these are all within each one of self. These are not external parts. These are all parts that we carry within ourselves that question and have possibly even greed, want to have center stage. Want to drive the car, the vehicle of self, and sometimes may not be driving in a direction may be driving in a direction that may be taking you off your path. Perhaps a siren needs to go off to remind you to get back on the path. Pay attention to the signs, the sounds, the messages, the guidance that comes through in various ways to return back to source. Not out of fear, but out of desire or yearning to unite with that. And so that all parts are welcome. There is, when the light shines within, the light shines, all parts are welcome. All parts are invited. So it is not a either or. It is not that one is greater or lesser. It is all part of God, God's self, one self. The Bodhisattva waits for enlightenment to happen to all beings. And so I invite you to allow the Bodhisattva in you to hold all of the parts of self and say we are all in this together. The ancient teachings tell us that. It is a blessing to be present here with the beings of Circle of Miracles who carry this and understand this message, who carry this message. You create this container of the light, a vessel, so to speak. The vessel is holy. The vessel contains the sacredness of the divine. The vessel is each one of you. Breathe into the holiness of the sacredness of the vessel that you are. Decorate your vessel with your vibration so that your vessel emanates light and joy. And I will now transition to the end of this channeling message here. And I will begin to create a space now where there can be an interaction and an exchange if you so wish.